A few days ago, I was watching CBS Mornings Money Watch, and this episode was on the growing number of Americans who delay retirement due to inflation, Social Security, and retirement planning. This episode focused on a lady lives in upstate New York. She's 67 years old, and the reporter spent the day with her, cameras rolling. She wakes up at 4 a.m. every morning, Monday through Friday. She gets ready for work, and her commute to work is approximately 2 hours. That includes riding a bus to a train station and then train station to the city in which she works in. When she gets off the train, she has approximately a 12-minute walk to her office. Now, this lady was very candid about some of the things that she did good and some of the things that she did not so good, and that's why she's still working. So in this video, I don't want to focus on the good and the bad or the rights or the wrongs. That's not the intent of this video. What I want to do is share 5 keys to retirement. I didn't say the 5 keys to retirement. I said 5 keys. These 5 individual keys can unlock certain things that prepare you for retirement. So stick with me. One of the first things that I share with the younger generation and help them prepare for retirement is savings. I've watched plenty of videos on YouTube. I watch plenty of the talking heads of money, and they say save 30 to 40% of your income. And I say that's great if you can afford to do that. But save something. And don't just save, automate your savings. And what I mean by that is set up an automatic transfer where money goes automatically from your check or your bank account to your savings account or your investment account. And what that does, it ensures consistency in you saving money. And not only that, but it's a great habit, right? It's a great saving habit. If you're going to save money, most likely you're going to have to consider a lifestyle adjustment. So be prepared for that, right? If you weren't saving money before and you start saving money, make deliberate lifestyle choices. And those choices should prioritize your savings, right? Such as living below your means. If you can't live below your means, it's going to be hard for you to save. So live below your means and cutting unnecessary expenses. That's going to help you save money for your future. Also, talk to the younger generation about investing. And I don't just tell them to invest, invest, invest. I always tell them to invest smart. The best way to invest smart is to educate yourself, right? Gain a solid understanding, at least have a basic fundamental understanding of how the market works and market trends. And if you have that basic understanding, it helps you to make informed decisions about your portfolio. And speaking of portfolio, you probably heard the word before when the talking heads speak about retirement and savings and investment is diversify. Definitely. I tell folks all the time to diversify your investments. That old saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Well, think about it like this, right? Spread your investments across various asset classes. And that could be stocks, that could be bonds, or that could be real estate. And what that does is reduce your risk and will improve your potential for return. So spread it around, right? Diversify. Next thing that I talk about with folks, in particular the younger generation, they like to use the term side hustle. Well, I say if you can, create a side income, explore opportunities. And by that, I mean, what is it that you like to do? Identify skills or hobbies that you can monetize. Think of something that you can make money at off of, like such as, let's say, freelance work. That could be photography, writing, editing, online classes. There's a slew of things that you can do, right? So think of some type of side hustle or side income that you will have additional income coming in. Another thing that I talk about is to build passive income streams and consider investments that will generate regular income. Now, that could be through dividends, right? You got some money in a particular account and it gained dividends or royalties in real estate, also dividends, right? So that right there also will supplement your primary income. One of the things that I talk about that is an uncomfortable conversation sometimes, and that is I tell people to clear up their debt as fast as possible because it's going to be very challenging to save money and to prepare for retirement if you got that bad debt. So what I typically tell people to do is prioritize that high interest debt and focus on paying off debts with the highest interest rates. I say do that first while making minimum payments on others. Think about that, right? I would say tackle those smaller debts first to gain momentum. And not only do you get the momentum, you also get like a psychological motivation that you accomplished something. So you got those smaller bills that are 300, 500, $600, chip away, right? Pay them off. If you got to save a little bit on the side just to pay off a debt, I would say do that, right? Pay off those smaller debts first. Aside from debt, definitely say spend less and build more, right? Good way to spend less and build more is to track your spending. And you can get assistance by tracking your spending by use of budgeting apps, or you could just create a spreadsheet. And what that'll do is monitor your expenditures and identify areas for cutting costs. In fact, in one of my earlier videos, I talk about 4 or 5 apps that you can use that will help you track your expenditures. And overall, if you adopt the minimalist mindset and emphasize on quality over quantity and the things that you purchase and focusing on, like, let's say, experiences and investments, you will do yourself much justice in the way of self growth instead of being left behind when it comes to retirement. So I hope some of those keys or all of those keys you found to be helpful. So if you take these combined strategies or keys, as I call them as well, that'll help set a firm foundation for achieving your financial goals before retirement. Again, I hope you found this video helpful. If you got comments, please list them down below. Like the content. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I hope you tune in to the next video. And with that, I say peace.